Hi, I'm John Zerlo, and would like to bring you a little bit of sports info that you've probably all seen in the Plattsburgh Press Republican in recent days. This situation is the result of 4 northeastern Clinton junior high students participating in a track meet, regional track meet in Shenandoah, New York. Doing well there, then showing very well in Orono, Maine, where they also did quite well and have qualified to go to Gainesville, Florida for the National Junior Olympics. And this is what you perhaps have seen in the Press Republican in recent days. And we have with us this evening, or depending upon when you're watching this program, maybe this afternoon, these 4 runners that participated at Northeastern Clinton in their track program. One thing I would like to mention is that to make this program, to make this situation even greater than it actually sounds, is that these 4 kids participated in high school on the high school track team against kids much older than they are. These kids are 13 and 14 years old. They participated against 16 and 17-year-olds in high school. Last track season, they were all junior high students and participated against sophomores, juniors, and seniors on the high school level. But at this tournament, they participated only against their own age bracket, which perhaps would help them somewhat, knowing that they're within their own group. I would like to introduce these 4 to you because they are leaving very shortly. They're having bottle drives and a couple of other fundraising events to try to come up with some funds to get them to Gainesville. So on my left, we have Chris LaFleur and Scott Morelli. Chris is an 8th grade student at Northeastern, going into 9th grade next year. Scott is a 7th grade student, which will keep him in junior high, of course, but still able to compete on the track team at Northeastern. Let's talk to these 2 boys and find out just what they did, where they did it, and what they plan to do in Gainesville. So first of all, Chris, how did you know about this Olympic program, and how did you know that you could possibly get into it?
Well, my coach, Mr. Powers, he told us about it, so then we had signed the sheet, and then we just handed it in, and then we were going to Junior Olympics.
Now, because this is a event where 4 people are involved,
yeah,
you had to all sign up together?
Yeah.
And what was the event that you signed up for?
Well, I signed up for the 200 hurdles and the 100 hurdles. And the 200 hurdles, it's 1/8 of a mile, and there's 10 hurdles. And in the 100 hurdle, it's 1/16 of a mile, but it's got shorter distance between the hurdles.
And how about this 4x400 that we hear so much about? Can you explain what that is?
Well, we organized supposed to be a junior high 4x4 team because we thought we could get sub 4, which is supposed to be really good, and then our track season we were all trying to get that. So and then we went to Maine and Orono. We got 3:59, so that was pretty good.
And Scott, what do you plan on competing in when you get to Gainesville?
Well, I'm competing in the 4x400 relay with Chris and the rest of the guys, and the triple jump. And that's a jump with 3 phases. The first 2 jumps in the jump is you jump from 1 foot onto the same foot, and then on the 3rd jump you switch feet and try and get the maximum distance.
And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned Scott's last name. This is Scott Morelli, and Scott was a triple winner in Orono. Well, Chris was the triple winner. You won 4. How many medals did you win?
In Orono I had 2. I had 3 in Shenandoah.
And you won 3 medals in Orono?
Yeah.
That's at the University of Maine?
Yep.
And what were those 3 medals that you were awarded?
They were for the 100 and 200 hurdles and the 4x4.
And yours, Scott?
Or silver in the triple jump and gold in the 4x4.
Now, what did you have to do first? You had to go to Shenendehowa, which is down near Schenectady, somewhere around in there, and you had to compete. And how did you have to do there?
If you place in the top 3, you advance to regionals, and in regionals, if you get the top 3, you advance to finals.
So you did well enough at Shenendehowa to go to Maine, to Orono. We have 2 others on this side of me. We have Jared Nutt and Jared Ankoviak. Now, Jared, let's speak with you first. What did you compete in at Shenendehowa?
1500, which is 3 3/4, 3 3/4 of a mile, and the 4x4 relay with the other guys.
And how about you, Jared?
The 4x4 and the 800, which is 2 times around the track, which is 800 meters.
I have to admit, my the novice that I am with track. I know Mr. Brian Power, who so successfully has led the Northeastern Cougar track team over the years, wouldn't be very proud of me when I would say that a 4x4, it's like a piece of wood, but a 4x4 is commonly used, the term commonly used for 4x400, which means 4 people partake and each run about 1/4 of a mile or 1/4 of a mile and hand off a baton. How important is this baton handoff, Jared?
Well, the baton handoff is important because when you're handing off, you can either lose time or gain a lot of time.
And if the baton is dropped, the race is probably out of the picture for you?
If it's a close race, it is. But if you're dominating your opponent, you can probably catch up.
So how did you fellas do in Orono? What position did you finish in Orono?
I finished second in the 1500, and we got first in the 4x400 relay.
And what qualified you to go ahead to Gainesville?
The 1500 and the 4x400.
Because you were in the top 3?
Yep.
Jared?
Well, I got 5th in the 800 at Orono, and we got 1st at the 4x4.
So the 4x4 is the one that is that your number 1 event at Gainesville, or can we say that? Is that your number 1 event going down to Gainesville, or these other events that you're going to participate in, are they just as important, or because the 4x4 you're all together participating as a team, does that mean something special to you?
Yeah, but all events are important if you qualified for them.
The important thing here, I think, is the fact that here are 4 local youngsters who have competed on the interscholastic level here at Northeastern Clinton. They took it upon themselves, with the advice of their coach, Mr. Power, to sign up for this Junior Olympic program, had to qualify at Shenendehowa, did so, then were permitted to go to Orono, Maine at the University of Maine, and also qualified there to attend the Nationals, which is in Gainesville, Florida. An unbelievable situation for 4 boys from a small school in upstate New York, considering that we're not only competing against local talent, we're competing against everyone from New England and New York. I believe this is who participated in the Orono tournament. Isn't that the case? All kids from New England, which is Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont, and also New York State?
Yeah.
Any comments over here? Am I on the right track with by saying this? So as you can see, that this is quite an accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. Now, one of the important reasons for having this televised on Hometown Cable is to alert you to the fact that I believe it's this Saturday, I have it here somewhere in my notes, that these youngsters are going to have a bottle drive, and I hope that all of you would participate, and you can do that by calling a couple of numbers, 298-3610 or 298-2367. That's 3610 or 2367 if you want to call ahead and have some bottles. Otherwise, they will be around. Is it this weekend that you can have your bottle drive? And where is it going to take place? Champlain and Rouse's Point? So if you have bottles, are you going to knock at each doorstep, or are you going to wait for people to put them out on their porch? How are you going to do this?
Anyway. It'd
So
probably help if they put out.
if it did, it would save them wrapping at doors, and you also could leave your home and wouldn't have to wait for them. But give them a call at any rate beforehand. And whether you do well or not in Gainesville, boys, we're all very proud of you here in the Northern Tier. And we wish you the best of luck and hope that you can display your wares quite successfully. But if not, we're all very proud of you. Before we close, I would like to bring on a couple of parents and perhaps their coach, Mr. Power, who is here this afternoon. Brian Power, why don't you step in and maybe give a couple of your comments, knowing how well these boys did and what competition that they were up against. What can you add?
Well, the four that you see here are unquestionably the best athletes that I've coached in about 10 years of track and field. And despite the fact that they did not have a winning record this year, they individually competed extremely well. And I think that they at least equal in the classroom their performances on the track. All four are on the principal's list, and that means so much to every teacher and to the administrators at our school. We have two students at Harvard who averaged about 94. It's very difficult to get grades at Northeastern, and we have 4 students here above 90. You know, and they're straight A students.
That's super, and I think that what really is nice for you as a coach, knowing that there are junior high students, you got 3 of them that'll be returning as junior high students, and of course Chris going on to his freshman year. That's outstanding.
You know, they really are exceptional athletes, but more than that, they're extremely nice people. They're all credits to the community.
I'm sure when they wear their Northeastern jackets down there in Gainesville, it'll be a credit to their school.
Pleases me.
And how about the competition? You know what the competition is. How did they fare?
Well, yes, I do know about the competition, but we're not awed by the competition. That's what was really nice at Orono, Maine. At the University of Maine, we competed against Harlem, which was quite good. They had a very excellent 4x4 team. And the University of Manhattan, the Kenyon Roadrunners, and a team from Providence that was highly rated, and we beat all of these teams. We know that when we go down to Gainesville, that we'll be competing against a team from Mississippi that is favored and expected to do a 353. One team from Alabama a few years ago ran a 349, which is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. But if these students can maybe shave off a second and a half, we should be in competition with the best teams in the country.
And what does it look like in terms of finances? What is the entry fee? What the cost are you looking at?
It's $249 per person round trip to Gainesville, and I believe that the students themselves, with the help of their parents, have raised something like $600 already, and we're hoping for at least that much with the bottle drive. I'm going to be driving. With my wife and my stepson. We're going to be driving down there, so we're probably not going to be part of that bottle drive, but these kids have been, you know, just great. The parents are extremely supportive. That's very obvious, and Mrs. Morelli has been coaching them. I'm not allowed to coach, so I've basically been spectating. You know, I'll come down in the morning and I'll watch the boys run, but Mrs. Morelli's been doing all the coaching. It's quite nice.
And the Booster Club here this afternoon has made a sizable donation to the program, which is super.
I'm unaware of that. That's great. And people have been really generous.
So we do have a couple of parents with us this afternoon. We do have a couple of minutes left if any of you want to jump in here and offer your comments. Diane Morelli, who is a teacher at Northeastern Clinton, I believe in the Moores building. Would you like to come in and say a word or two? With me now is Mrs. Diane Morelli, who is the parent of Scott Morelli and has been very active with these 4 youngsters in making them attend practice and keeping them coordinated and on track. And I would like to ask Diane about the financial aspect of this trip and how your fund drive is going, and maybe you want to explain a little more about the bottle drive that will occur this weekend.
Okay. We went around soliciting last week and passing out flyers to many of the local businesses, and we stayed basically within the Champlain and the Ross's Point area. And I'll I'd like to list off the names of those
right
who did
ahead.
donate, because we really appreciate the help that they've given us. The Peppercorn Family Restaurant, Dave Southwick, Soups, Paint and Reconditioning, May Auto Marketing Incorporated, Champlain Laundry, Freeport Forwarding Incorporated, Champlain Telephone Company, Frank Cotter, Chris and Debbie Thomas, Frank Dumas, Jerry Favreau, Barcomb's TV and Furniture, Lakewood Market, Sandpiper, Anchorage, Kathy's Furniture and Carpet, Sandy's Deli, West Liquor and Wine, Shazy Hardware, Delagards, Clark's Funeral Home, Payless, Iona and Albert Morelli, R. Deso Incorporated, Racine's Liquor and Wine, Bud Neverett, Dick Cole, Father Joseph Morgan, Derringers, Kavanaugh Realty, Booster Club, Mr. and Mrs. Alfred Racine, and Mr. and Mrs. Ray Devens.
That's super.
Oh, and I'd also like to say a special thank you to Champs, who gave us a 40% discount off. We finally got uniforms for the boys to compete in, and Parker's Chevrolet has foot the bill for the rest of it. And also a special thank you to Finney Sports, who is lettering the shirts for us for nothing.
That's outstanding. So I think a lot of these merchants as well as people figure that it's quite an accomplishment for these 4 youngsters from their little community to advance to such a level.
Definitely.
And we hope that many more people will be added to that list before the group has finished their fundraising. And how about the bottle drive this weekend?
The bottle drive, we will be going around. There will be a truck going around in one of the villages, and we'll have a trailer and my husband's Jeep in the other village, and we're going to go around as long as we can collect. So if anyone can help us out, we'd appreciate it.
Outstanding. We have the parents of the other 3 youngsters here, but they've elected Diane to be their spokesperson, and I think she did a great job. So congratulations, boys. Best of luck to you, and I hope the best occurs in Gainesville. But as I said earlier, if you don't have to be the winning participant to make us proud, because we're proud to send you down there, and best of luck to you.
Oh, one other special thank you to you and Calvin for helping us out, because this really will help also. And
well, Calvin pulled me out of the woodwork for this. You see, he found out I'm retired now, have a lot of time, so he says, "Hey, will you help me out?" And again, dealing with youngsters, I could not say no, and that's why I'm here.
And I don't want to pick on you. He's our big guy, but he's only going into
That's
8th
right.
grade.
I know that.
This
It's
one
Jared
is
Nutt
ninth
that's
grade.
going to be the freshman next year. But I'm sure that Brian Power, among all of us, is the happiest, knowing he's got these 4 youngsters for 3 or 4 more years.
So I hope they can bring back a gold.
You bet. Congratulations again. And I guess, Calvin, that'll do it from... if they want to contribute, that's right. This Saturday, put the bottles in a bag on your porch, or else make those phone calls. If you want to call ahead, it's 298-3610 or 298-2367, or else leave the bottles on your porch, and these kids will be around. They seem to have quite an organization, and I'm sure they won't leave you high and dry. They'll take those bottles off your porch. So do what you can to help them. It's a great effort on their behalf, and I think they're going to make us all proud, whether they do well down there or not. It just, to me, it's what an accomplishment for these 4 youngsters from the little area in which we draw from to qualify at Shenandoah, and then on to Orono at the University of Maine to qualify for these National Junior Olympics. And I think that's sensational, and I think they deserve all the help that we can afford them. So get the bottles out this Saturday, and I'm sure they'll be picked up. Or they'll take money. You bet they'll take money, and that's why Mrs. Morelli read off that list. And I'm sure many people will come forth to help this program. Thank you very much.